And thank you very much for this opportunity. Good afternoon. And today is a very difficult day for me. I've had numerous conversations with Dr. RANJU JHA Alex in private, but to actually have it on center stage is a challenging thing. What kind of questions does one ask such an accomplished woman? Let's start with asking her, can you tell us a little bit about your journey? Where did you start? Tell us about your life.
All right, there's a little disclaimer here. My life has been very, very Bollywood, very filmy. So please bear with me till when I take you through. To understand where I come from, I'll have to give you a little bit of insights to my childhood. I belong to a very conservative Bihari family, but luckily for me, my parents were very progressive, though the community around me was very, very conservative. I grew up till the age of 18. I had absolutely no aim in life. And to all the kids out there, it's okay not to know what you want to do in your life. Though I knew what I wanted to do in my life, till the age of, I think, 17 and a half to be precise, I wanted to marry a film star. Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak had just released. I was completely in love with Amir Khan. My plan B was Akshay Kumar. So if I couldn't marry Amir Khan, Akshay Kumar would also work very well. That was the only dream I had in life. How I would meet him, how I would get married, I had no idea. But I knew I wanted to be a rich Bollywood wife, tagging along, seeing the world. God had other plans. When I was 17 and a half, I was struck with a very bad neurological disorder where I got 6 cysts, tumor-like cysts in my brain, and 6 in the body. First of all, in India, medical sciences were not so advanced, and this is, I'm talking quite a few years back. So it took the doctors 9 months to even diagnose what the issue with me was. And once it was diagnosed, the doctors gave my parents 6 months for me to live. The diagnosis was that I would start getting more tumors in all the organs of my body, which would start shutting down, and then I would lose my life. Thankfully, for me, my parents did not really disclose that it was, end of shelf life for me. So I did not quite know the extent of issues that I had in my body. We were from a middle class family, so going abroad for treatment was unknown. So my parents did the best thing that was available in India. They took me to CMC Vellore. My treatment went on for 2.5 years through several surgeries, medicines, all of that. When did my life change? There was one particular day where the doctors had given my parents 48 hours of watch. For me, if I survived that, there were chances I would make it. And I remember there was a relative of mine from my Bihari community who came to see me. And my mom was crying at my bedside, and he told my mother, she's a girl, why don't you just give up? Let her go. She's a girl child at the end of the day. I have an older sister and I have an older brother. Anyway, I was the third and a girl. And I remember in my haze, my memory was completely lost. I was in and out of the hospital. I was all of 105 kilos because of the steroids that were pumped into me. I was a mess, mentally and physically. But at that particular moment, I told God, let me live. And I will show the world what women can do or a girl child can do. I think if you asked me if there was one moment when my life changed, I would definitely say that was a moment where from an Amir Khan loving, teenager, adolescent, frivolous, I grew up overnight and I said I wanted to do something with my life. I didn't know what. I didn't know which way I would go. Anyways, after 2.5 years, I did come out, and the doctors had said I could not study because of my brain pressure. To all of you sitting here, I still have 3 in my brain. I live with them. They are too deep-rooted to be operated upon. I came out and the doctor said she can't study, she could not take any kind of pressure because her brain pressure is very high. My mother, who was a very quintessential Bihari housewife all this while, walked up to me one day and said, even if you have to work as a house help in somebody's house, go and earn your money, don't sit at home. We will pass away, we will put some money in the bank, we will pass away, but you will always be a liability to your brother. So do something with your life. I know the doctors have said you cannot study, but do something with your life. Well, I got up, I gave my 12th exam from the hospital bed. And today when people say, oh, you've achieved, you are a woman leader, all of that, to me, my biggest achievement was passing the class 12th with the first division from the hospital. That success defined that I had defied the medical sciences to move forward. And then more drama began in my life. I come from a very educated Bihari family where, I think someone spoke in the morning about you either become a doctor or an engineer or civil services, nothing else matters. I decided to get into hotels. The whole community descended upon my family saying, if she joins hotels, no respectable person will ever marry her, no respectable person will ever marry any girl from our khandan. That was thrown at me. The one person who really stood by me through this journey was my father. He came up to me and he said, you've got a second lease of life. No one knows the pain that you've gone through. Go live your life. It was a typical Jaat ji le, Simran apni zindagi ji le kind of a moment. And I joined hotel school. In hotel school, I met the love of my life, my husband who's here. A typical Bihari Brahmin girl marrying a Catholic Malayali boy. Again, everything erupted at home. So at every stage, I have defied what was expected out of me as a woman. In our family, so much so of even cutting your hair short was something that the community decides for you, you don't decide for yourself. So again, when I decided to have my hair short, no one's going to marry her. That was one thing I heard for 10 years of my life, till such time that this man married me.
But honestly speaking, you didn't want to marry anybody other than Amir Khan.
Yeah.
So it was okay if none of the other boys wanted to marry you.
I know. So that happened, and then I got into hotels. And hotels is not an easy job. It's 12 hours, minimum 14 hours of work. It is an extremely male-dominated industry. You might see a lot of women in the reception, but that's where they are regulated to. They don't really rise up to the top, maybe because you spend so much time in hotels that your family life really is challenged, and not all women have the resilience to move on. Despite all the medical challenges that I had, I went on to have two beautiful kids. My son is 24, my daughter is 22 now. And I have always been an advocate of telling the society that give that woman a chance. Let her live her life, and she will show you what she's made of.
Which brings me to next question. What is it that you're doing to empower other women?
I think storytelling, Mr. Krishnan, works the best in this world. Women, kids, girls get inspired, and I hope even men get inspired when you share stories. I had goosebumps when Captain Yadav was speaking. I wish I could have turned my life, I would have joined the army. But that's the power of stories, that's the power of inspiration. I always feel women need to come out and share their stories on different platforms like this for other women to get inspired or other kids to get inspired. I must share this with you that my journey, the medical journey, was so painful that I did not talk about it for 20 years of my life. Every time I would speak, I would start crying. And then 20 years later, I just happened to speak to a colleague in a very weak moment, and she told me that, Ranju, you need to go and speak about this story to the world. Today, of course, I speak in so many forums that I'm pretty, I feel more jubilance about beating what I did, about beating society expectations from me, about beating what the medical science had to tell me, but it's not been easy. I feel like Sri Venkaiah Naidu said, that this country has a history of giving women the position that they have always deserved. Somewhere in the modern world, the opposite has happened. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not a feminist who bashes men. I am where I am because of the men in my life as well. So I just believe in being individualist and not a feminist. And I just feel every individual, whether it's a man, woman, or of any sexuality, they need to have a platform where they're an individual first, and then they shouldn't be boxed up in any form or shape.
You said when you heard Captain Yadav, you wanted to join the army. Most people in Marriott tell me that you are a general. You've actually taken that organization from 60, 70 hotels, and fortunately or unfortunately, I know most of your colleagues, and they tell me that, you know, this is our general who's going to take this company to maybe 250 hotels or 300 hotels.
No, thank you. I think my colleagues also say I have a Jekyll and Hyde personality. My family says the moment I wear a sari, they say Mata chad jati hai. I'm a very, very different person at work, and at home I'm a very, very different person. There's so much of decision making that you do at work that at home, even if we have to go to a restaurant, I don't take the decision which place I'm going to eat. I think that's the beauty of a woman. The balance she gets into this world is invaluable, and people just need to, I mean, that is something that needs to be celebrated. I'm so glad you caught on to that, because all of us, every woman here has not just two personalities, we have several personalities, and we're juggling different balls in the air all the time. We just need to be celebrated more.
What next?
Well, like you said, taking this company to a very, very different level. I had the honor of meeting Prime Minister Modi in April, and he's equally excited about tourism in India, excited about the growth of hospitality in India, and Marriott being the largest company today in India and globally. I would like to be a part of a company which spearheads this growth in this country. I would like to be somebody who other women or girls look at and say, hey, I want to join the hospitality industry. It has a lot of potential. So yes, to all of you kids here, children, if you aspire, hospitality industry is the way to go.